You know what it is? I love it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 98 Click.
And here at 98 Click, our heart is to make a joyful noise to the Lord and specifically to elevate artists who are doing that. And so that's what we're all about. Psalm 98:4, which tells us to make a joyful noise to the Lord. So we want to elevate the artists who are doing that in the CHH world.
Absolutely. And today's artist is none other than Torey Deshawn, who, both of us are big fans of, obviously, even before he got into Indie Tribe, and he's been in Indie Tribe now, but he released his first studio album just this past October. And I think I said this on another one of the videos that was kind of earlier on in this channel, but this album for me is up there with like Heroes for Sale and Today We Rebel for me personally, as like it's a top 3 album, top 3, 4 or 5 album for me all time of CHH. I believe it's that good. And this song is my favorite song on that album.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This album, it's so raw and honest, and you just feel like it's like Torey put his personal journal just out for the world to see, not holding anything back. Just and it's so powerful, and it's not just the raw authenticity of it, but it's also just like it's artistically is a masterpiece. Every feature crushes it. It's all around 10 out of 10 album. Like I agree. One of the greats of Christian hip hop.
Yeah, which I mean, again, there's a lot to say. There's been a lot. I mean, there's a large, catalog of CHH albums at this point in 2024, and we're talking about an album that got released in 2024 that we're putting up there as one of the greats. And it just was that good. To be honest, I'm mad that it doesn't have as many, in my opinion, on YouTube specifically. Like, I mean, this song has 38,000 views. That's insane to me.
That's criminal.
It is. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And like, if he doesn't win Album of the Year at the Dove Awards, I'll riot. I'll riot personally.
I'm there. We got pitchforks. We'll be there.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
the whole 98 Click pulling up.
This will get clipped because Dove Awards, count your days. If he doesn't,
the whole 98 Click is pulling up.
We pull it up. Not you, me, and our 35 subscribers right now.
That's right, baby.
By the time it gets Dove Awards, hopefully we roll 100 deep. You know,
you're gonna be in trouble, Dove.
I know. Oh, but no. All seriousness, man. Like, Torey is a special talent. He's still so young. He's got so much ahead of him. But giving you guys a little bit of a preface, for the song before we go into it. This is being told basically from the perspective of Torey's, family and things of that nature. And, just really you need to understand and listen to, and you'll have to listen to it again, I'll be honest, and we'll try to do our best, but just going in, understand this is a storytelling song where he's telling different parts of the story. And that's what makes the song a masterpiece and one of my favorites. So we're going to pause it a few times to talk about, maybe each section and what we see and heard in between. But I encourage you guys to listen to it multiple times. So, ready, Gerb?
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Right this way. Now for one of my personal favorite pieces.
I know this dude named. He told me he got the results. Maybe got a baby coming and it's all his fault. One in the vault. Beat his baby mama young and tried as an adult. How ironic, he was charged with battery and assault. Went and cheated on her and thought the doctor was capping. But he got that Magic Johnson for thinking it's Johnson magic. His daughter grew up off of that trauma her dad brought her. She liked aggressive boys and the whole cycle restarted. Now she a pregnant mama. Tried to get rid of it, but didn't have the money. Fell in love with the child, went from hard as rock to sweet as honey. She was in a dark place, but he was like, she named him Sonny. Sonny died, she asked God, why did you take my baby from me? Mad at God, she started wilding out. Got with a gang member, put her through a lot, but she numb to it, the pain in her. At least she protected with him, the Lord already let her down. Another son was born, but this time on purpose, like flagrant foul. Daddy still hugging the block, so mama left to raise a man. All the men she knew broke her down, so it ain't no building plan. Get up, you better not cry, get up and fix your face, that's what she said. He bottled up emotions, so when he popped, all he seen was red. His TT knew he had a rough life. She used to pick him up when he was having a hard day. Dave and Buster's bumping Lecrae. Auntie looked at Junior like her kid, cause she ain't had one. She praised God through confusion when she lost her last son. He loved TT, but found identity in his pops and them. She prayed for her brother, but Dad said it's me again. Sing.
Man,
It was in junior life from preschool up
get a
to
new mouse. I'm gonna have to get a new mouse. I'm messing up the whole video. I'm sorry, y'all. But I wanted to pause there because he said a lot, right, Gerb, in that first section, talking about, Junior and Junior's mom, who, was beaten young, and, she was starting to really close people off. And he said, she got pregnant, had a baby. She turned from hard as rock to sweet as honey, because the baby, allowed her to, actually feel better. And then, she got involved in some bad things again. And
Yeah. I mean, you got first dude, name redacted, right? Started out, and he seems like not the greatest character, right? Got the mom pregnant, beats her. He said how ironic he was charged with battery and assault.
Yeah.
This is what's so crazy about this song is the bars that are telling the story. Like, and then he said he got that Magic Johnson for thinking this Johnson magic. Like, he ended up with AIDS.
Yeah.
And then he has a daughter who grows up, and then the cycle continues. It's like that generational trauma he passed right down to his daughter, who then, like he said, she liked aggressive boys, and she was like, she wanted guys like her dad, just started it right up again, which led to this spot, and then lost a child. And then, gets mad at God. She said, hey, gets with a gang member, like you said, gets with a gang member and says, well, at least he can protect me because God's let me down already.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh,
and then you meet TT, right, where he says, like, she praised God through confusion when she lost her last son.
Right.
Yeah,
there's a lot of loss going on here, man.
And she's getting ready to speak into his life. But we stopped it there. Let me go back a little bit. Back it up again. But here we go.
Found identity in his pops and them. She prayed for her brother, but Dad said it's me again. Senior was in junior life from preschool up to senior high. Now junior high off pills at his daddy's funeral. Like, who am I? Sat next to his auntie, she crying, still saying God is great. But since his daddy died, that faith in God started to fade away. At least he got the game, cause the Lord already let him down. God ain't number Santa Claus, cause his presence can't be found.
Hey, yo, I heard that boy Jay.
I don't want to pause so early again, but I do want to speak to that where, it talks about, losing his dad and everything like that. And what he's feeling, God ain't nothing but Santa Claus because his presence can be found. Just as a pastor, how would you speak to that when somebody's grieving and going through stuff like that?
Man, there's, especially in somebody's life like this where he's seen nothing but bad come from his life, he lost his dad, his mom has told, his mom told him, hey, fix your face, right? Don't be crying, better not show that emotion.
Yeah.
And I think it's natural for people to get to that conclusion to be like, hey, it feels like God's not around at all. And we can get ourselves to that spot where we're like, I don't see God in this. The challenge is what you need in that moment is it's good to ask those questions of God. Like, it's good to say, where are you? You look through you read through the book of Psalms, you're going to see over and over, David says it, God, where you at? What you doing? You've abandoned me. You've left me. You've left me alone. My enemies are all winning. Nothing's going right. Everything sucks. My life's a mess. Like, David just goes crazy over and over in the Psalms. And God doesn't get mad at him for questioning. He welcomes us to question and say, man, where are you at? But the truth is, he's there the whole time. Sometimes we just don't see him. We can be blinded by our trauma. We can be blinded by our grief. And we miss sometimes where God's moving. But man, it just breaks my heart to see people in that situation, because I've seen it. I've seen people be like, man, I can't catch a break, God just, for them, they're like, it feels like God just keeps wrecking my life. But the problem with that perspective is we assume that God's the one doing the evil and not Satan. Like, we assume that it's God that's causing it. Whereas, like, you look at the book of Job, and Job's life was great, and then it all went down in a day, and he starts kind of blaming God when the whole time at the beginning, it was Satan who said, I bet you I can tempt that. I can bet you I can tempt that Job, I can get him to forsake you, God. So sometimes we get our perspective wrong and we think it's God doing it when it's maybe a test, like Satan's trying to, get us off track. But yeah, I get that bar. God ain't nothing but Santa Claus because his presence can't be found. Man, a lot of people feel that way,
No, they do. They do. Yeah.
But
let's keep rolling.
Yeah, let's do it.
At least he got the game, cause the Lord already let him down. God ain't number Santa Claus, cause his presence can't be found.
Hey, yo, I heard that boy Junior rapping now. He really been tripping since his pop star. We need to get up there and check him.
When you hopeless, the devil smell it when it's on you. It's all over, Junior, no telling what he gon' do. He feel like money won't fail him, he chasing it forever. Buckhouse robberies, kicking doors, he really went whatever. TT Church been praying for Junior, but he made up his mind. Now we in the street, sex, money, murder, the scat pack. All the power like Jack. Got the heat line on him in a Hellcat. Women, power, money, fame, for your soul, what's the game?
And as we see here, Junior has completely hardened his heart.
Daddy dead, so I don't care about life no more, like what you mean? TT told me hell is real, I love her, but she hella green. Cause old Boopy told me don't do it, I'm hard-headed, I'm ruthless. Only thing I pray is that these big bullets don't jam my Ruger. Smoking gas, floating, can't see my body, first person shooter. She want me to come through, I said in her dreams, Freddy Cougar. Snatch a charger straight out the wall, the way I be robbing plugs. Since a youngin', been with them members, been in my blood.
Micro Drake gon' shake the club, 762 eat 'em up. New booty supercharged on this beamer, ain't no catching us. I'm sliming with pain up in my heart just like a ghetto slug. Ain't talking no football, but this gon' make them huddle up.
Came from nothing, mama and them struggling, I had to cut a rug.
Stop talking to Jesus, married the streets, I fell in love.
Okay, before we get into this next part, when I heard this song, like when I first heard this song for the first time, when I tell you the shock that was on my face when that beat dropped, like especially when you're in a car, you got headphones on, like it was stark, like went
the
from
basses,
sad to doom, 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 doom. And it's crazy how talented Torey is. He's going from, these, kind of like a almost, it's not spoken word, maybe spoken word esque because of how fast he's going.
Right.
And goes like from that into just like a rap that, like, again, if we're presenting this to this current generation, they would be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's that drill type of, but and he's, killing it. Like,
and it fits perfectly with the story too. Like, he's like, you know what, I'm life no more. Yes, I'm fully, I'm going fully in on this gang life, right? This is I'm gonna hit the streets. I'm gonna get my money up. I'm gonna get all this stuff I've been looking for. I'll kill you if you come near. Like, he switches, and the whole beat switches to like that kind of gang, gang bang mentality, kind of like something you would. Like that type of music, like you said, that generation, people are like, yeah, like, and what he's talking about, it's like,
the only thing I pray is that these big bullets don't jam my Ruger, like smoking gas. And
he said, "Cuzzo,"
through. I said, in her dreams, Freddy Krueger. What?
And he said, "Cuzzo Boopy told me don't do it." For those who don't know, Boopy is Torey.
It's Torey.
So he's saying the story is he was like, don't live this way. He's telling him not to do it, but he's like, I'm hard headed, I'm ruthless. He said,
banging been in my blood.
Yeah, man, he made a choice, to go this direction with his life, and and then I like even the other guy Nesso. He comes in and it's like shows almost another change where he's like even deeper into it, like
stop talking to Jesus, married the streets, I fell in love.
Like he changed it out. He said, no, I'm not doing that, no, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm doing me. All
right, let's finish it out.
Let's see where that gets him.
Ain't talking no football, but this gon' make them huddle up.
Came from nothing, mama and them struggling, I had to cut a rug.
Stop talking to Jesus, married the streets, I fell in love.
Me and Lil Torey used to stay fighting, now we be getting to it. Hit his beeper, like when you make it, get out of East St. Louis. phone, yo baby girl, pick up the phone, yo baby girl, pick up the phone.
Sorry to tell you we have bad news, Miss Jenkins.
Pick up the phone, your son gone. Pick up the phone, your son gone. Pick up the phone.
Her son was murdered earlier tonight at about 10:30.
Pick up the phone, your daddy gone. Pick up the phone, your daddy gone. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, your partner gone. Pick up the phone, your brother gone. Pick up the phone. Death and God on the same side, God, you expect me to know that? Death and God on the same side, got the same jersey on like a throwback. Death and God on the same side, God, how you expect me to know that? How you expect me to know that? How you expect me to know that? What's Junior prodigal or is he perishing? Honestly, Booby just don't wanna know. Junior daddy told him snitches get stitches, but TT told us that you reap what you sow. I wish every story had a good ending, but Choice directed this part of the show. Choice is directing this part of the show. Choice is directing this part of the.
That is what shall it profit? And man, that it's hard, man. It gets you every time. Like we said, we were going right from those big gun bars to literally like living by it, dying by it. Like and that was like, it's sad, but it's one of my favorite parts of this song, just in terms of the production. Middle of him being in that lifestyle, in the middle of that rap, pop, 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 pop. Right, he gets shot,
and you never communicate. You never expect it. Like, you think you're gonna live forever. You think it doesn't matter. This is just me. No one can touch me. I'm unstoppable. And then it's like right in the middle of his sentence. Like, he's like, "Hey, when you get to East St. Louis, like, that's it. Like, that's how it comes."
Yeah, and the sirens, the cries in the background, and just poignantly, like Torey saying, death and God on the same side, both inevitable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And Junior's dad told him the snitches get stitches. Right, that's part of that lifestyle. Is, hey, snitches get stitches. This, you got to be hard. You got to do this. You got to bang. And TT told him that you reap what you sow. And we see in this song that Junior reaped what he sowed. In his life. And yeah, Choices directed this part of the show.
Yeah, the line that gets me every time is he says, "Was Junior prodigal or is he perishing?" Honestly, Boopy just don't want to know. He's like asking that question, like, was he the prodigal son? Did he have a real relationship with Jesus and strayed, or did he never have that relationship? And, like, basically, is he in heaven or hell right now? Like,
yeah,
and
people just don't want to know.
Man, I've had those are the hardest ones for me when I go to a funeral that I don't know. Like, I don't know what this person's relationship with Jesus was like. And for me, as a pastor, I've been to some that I've had to go to that it just it rips my heart out, honestly. It's like there's no hope at all there. And I know how hard that is too when you're like, especially he was trying to speak life. He's trying to get him to, make the right choice. And honestly, that, to summarize the whole song, like it ended so well. Choices directing this part of the show, like you just said, like that sums up the whole song, and it also sums up the whole of the Bible, even too. Like the whole story of the Bible, especially the Old Testament, like the law. People honestly they don't like the law part. The whole thing is just trying to say, hey, choose life, not death. Like make the right choice. Choose life. Just submit to God. Like He's bigger. Let Him call the shots. He knows. Just give it to Him and choose life instead of death, because it might seem cool to choose the route that Junior did. But what does it profit if he gains the whole world? That's kind of the whole idea of the song, I think, right? Like, what was all that for? Like, he got all the money and women. Like, what is that for? If it's just gonna end just like that, And it's, man, his song is heavy. Like, it's so heavy. And hearing those like recordings of the, like, I don't know if it's his mom or whatever, the screams or
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but is like, oh my goodness, that is the police. Like, I'm sorry, your son was murdered tonight. Like, man, just rips your heart out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, like you said, it's like and, we're not going to go too much longer here, but choices not only by Junior, but from the beginning of the song,
Mm-hmm.
like how there's cycles of that choices directed these things, like his going back from obviously his mom's dad, treating her the way she did, and then she sought after dudes like her dad that beat her and that did these things. So then she was sweet as honey when he was born, but then she got brought back into being, hard as rock and feeling like she had to be in because she went back to that lifestyle with those dudes, gang member, because that's what she was comfortable with. And then gang member is Junior's daddy. And so what does Junior find out how to do? Gang bang because of his dad. And then Junior gets even more entrenched in the streets when his dad dies because he has pain, but all he knows are the streets. So where does he go? The streets. TT and Boopy, Uncle Boopy, are over there trying to tell him. But again, he had a choice to make right there.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to continue the cycle and go take my pain to the streets, or I could take my pain to the Lord and what I've been learning with TT and Uncle Boopy? And he chose, like, I know it's hard, but he chose to do the opposite and went down that path. And then, what happened obviously happened within the song. And that's just the story of so many that died to gun violence. They died to the gang life. Like I have family members that have as well. And it's unfortunate and sad, and it's catastrophic and destructive to families. You know what I mean? And so then you have stories like my father, who my grandpa beat my grandma, like died when my dad was 19. My dad take care of his 5 siblings, himself. Right. But my dad chose to step into the calling that God had in his life. And he didn't, he kind of knew he really became a believer when I was born, but like he was choosing to go after that path instead of repeating the cycle that my grandfather had. And because of that, now I'm here and I get to be who I am. And I'm getting to sow good seed and good cycles into my family and my daughter because of a choice that my dad made to not be like his dad and to be an alcoholic and angry and bitter. He chose to be a pastor and love God and be humble and all these other things that he was. Right. So that's why
cycle.
When he died, which he did a few years ago, who did I turn to? I turned to Jesus because that's what I know. And it's the right decision. I didn't go into alcohol. I didn't go into, which if my dad had done that and then he died like he did, maybe I turned to that. But I'm not trying to get too much into it, but these are the things, right?
Right.
And that's why this
generational.
Song, and this song was such a masterpiece, not only production wise, but just like you said, like how he told the story and the title of the song, "What Shall a Prophet?" And he told it. It was just it's a masterpiece all the way around, man. It is.
Yeah, it's 10 out of 10. So every aspect. And one more thing I just want to add, just because we talked about heaven and hell. Sometimes he talks about choice. Man, that's what it is. Like, we got to make that choice to give our life to Jesus. Like, and I heard it described. People always ask, well, why would a loving God send anybody to hell? Well, it's not that he sends us there. It's that we have a choice. We can either let Jesus pay for our sin, or we can choose to go try to pay it ourselves in hell forever. And that's the choice we have. Choose life. Like I said, like God's telling us to choose life. Torey was trying to get Junior to choose life, and ultimately he didn't, and that, such a beautiful song. I'm so glad Torey put this. I know it was probably incredibly hard for him to record this, to write it, to share this, this story, but man, it's powerful, huh? It's so powerful.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly powerful, and especially in the context of the full album, where it comes, because at the end of the album he has songs that like really speaks to things. Even, I mean, the first song of the album is Torey, like racism, sexism, like, God, I can't see, like, I gotta go find some faith. Like, he literally, go listen to the song. And maybe I don't know, maybe we'll do more songs from this album since both of us like it so much. But yeah, the album's just great. So we could probably talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But
it shows the power of the song, though, that it gets us thinking about everything,
Yeah.
Like it and we're talking about this for however 3-hour long video this is. We're talking about this and we've heard the song before several times. Like it just has that power to, it's one of those ones,
Ones, for sure. But man, guys, we appreciate you guys sticking out with us. Not every reaction is going to be this long, but this one is something that's, me and Gerb both love. This song is dear to our hearts, obviously, as you can tell. And so we appreciate y'all, sticking through. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you put in the comments, any song maybe you have a heart for that you would like us to hear or even review. We really appreciate it. And so again, it's a reminder that, we're 98 Click. And so we're here to bring people that elevate or elevate artists, that, make a joyful noise to the Lord. Gerb, you got anything to say to people before we head out, man?
Nah, man, just make the right choice. Choose life, choose Jesus. It's better. It's better. No matter, there's an allure, there's a shininess about the way that the things of the world. But you can ask Torey right here, was it worth it? You can ask Junior. If you could ask Junior now, was it worth it? He'd tell you no. Yeah. What shall it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? Not worth it. Yeah. So choose life. Choose the right.
Choose life. Choose life. All right, guys, make sure you are listening to music that makes a joyful noise to the Lord this week. And join 98 Click, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see y'all.
See ya.
Why would I need Zeus or Poseidon when I got Jerusalem's line? Okay, I'm feeding them hope with these lines. I'm Peter and Moses.